This is the Takamine G240 Acoustic guitar, and it's mine. Listen to the resonance on that thing. Just goes on and on. I mean, I think I just got lucky, you know. I got a guitar 20 years ago. I didn't really think much of, you know, thought it was a nice guitar, I didn't think anything about it, but what I've actually bought is something incredible. This thing is stupendous. I'm not just saying it because I've got it, I'm saying it because it sounds fantastic. It sounds absolutely fantastic. And the more you look into Takamine, the more you realise these are quality instruments. They're proper quality instruments. They're not just lashed up in some place and thrown out. They are quality instruments, and I guess I just got lucky. If you're enjoying what I'm doing, please do me a favour and hit that like button and press the subscribe and the notification bell, because then that way you'll know when I'm going to do another video. At the end of the video I'm going to show you a little thing that I discovered. You'll have to practice on your own guitar. You won't be able to get it from watching me, but I'll show you what it is and then you can try and find it yourself. Let's go through the technical specs of this guitar, because I didn't do that last time. This was built between 1999 and 2005, this particular model. 1999 to 2005, so it wasn't a particularly long run. And I'm going to link in this video down below to a factory tour of the Takamine factory in Japan, which is still running. And it's amazing, it's all handmade stuff. This is all handmade stuff, you know. It's called a factory, but it's actual people in there putting these together and making them, you know, like proper luthiers. So the more I've looked into this, the more I'm kind of shocked at how cheap they are, because this is an inexpensive acoustic guitar, even today. And the thing about this, because it was such a limited run on this guitar, they're becoming quite rare, and they're dirt cheap if you look at, and it's a great guitar for the money. It's a really, really good guitar for the money. If you look on eBay or Amazon or something like that, you can pick them up sometimes for like a couple of £100, a couple of $100, which is nuts considering the quality of it. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got a spruce top, and we've got NATO back and sides. NATO is a form of Eastern mahogany. There's the back. Can you see that grain? And this neck is really, really nicely profiled. Got a C-shaped neck, and obviously that makes it easier to play. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful wood, really, really good wood. We've got a rosewood fingerboard, and these machine heads are chrome aluminium. It's got a tapered neck and a nice action now that I've fixed it up. But yeah, it's got a tapered neck and radius fingerboards. Low, very. It's got quite a radius on that fingerboard. Not hectic, but yeah, it's definitely there. It's not flat, but it's definitely got a radius on there. It's not flat, which means that now that I've fixed it up, it plays really, really well. And do you know what? I could actually take it down more. Or I might just take that shim out, because underneath this saddle there's a shim. So I could just take that shim out and it would be even easier to play. I mean, it's easy enough to play now, but you know. Yeah, I could take that down. I could take that down some more. But it really is an incredible guitar. I'm shocked it just sat there for so long and I didn't do it. You know what it is? You get busy. You have a family. You got a career. You got all that kind of stuff going on. And the things that give you pleasure, real pleasure, sometimes you forget about them, which is, don't know why that is, but it happens. You get rather busy, and I'm actually enjoying playing again. I haven't played for yonks, haven't played for absolute yonks, but this is really enjoyable. Some people have argued that this is possibly the best dreadnought acoustic guitar in the world, which is kind of astonishing, but there you go. What do I know? It sounds fantastic. So easy to play. And you can do a lot of different styles with this. You can do you can actually do classical. My playing hasn't improved. Well, it has. It's getting there. Yeah, it sounds fantastic, but you know, my playing needs to work. You can play folk, you can play rock, you can play jazz. Jazz comes out quite nice on this. Get a little jazz on, but you can play just about anything. But you know what's kind of interesting is this guitar, this particular model or this particular brand was made famous by the Gallagher brothers, you know, Oasis. And they used to do all that Wonderwall stuff on these guitars. So that's probably where my son first saw it, because my son introduced me to these guitars. They're not terribly well known, but they're a brilliant guitar. There are a bunch of theories about old guitars, old instruments, that say that older instruments, older guitars, sound better than new guitars because of the age of the wood, it's dried out, various things like that. And there's loads of theories about this, you know, why old guitars sound good. Now my theory is quite simple. If you bought a guitar and it sounded good 20, 30, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, it sounded good and you looked after it and you maintained it, then it will still sound good today. Radical theory, eh? So my theory is this. Good guitars, good sounding guitars survive because people like them. They keep them. Guitars that are not so good end up in the trash or as firewood or something like that. So what you end up with is only the guitars that were any good in the first place survive into the future. What do you think about that theory? Does that make sense? Makes sense to me. But I didn't really look after this guitar, but it was stored carefully and you can see the results. It's in great condition. And I'm sure that there's plenty of lofts and attics around the world that have got other guitars in there that are equally as good, if they were good in the first place. If it was a good instrument in the first place, there's no reason why it shouldn't be a good instrument right now. A way to tell if your guitar is in good shape is to look at the deck. Okay, look at the deck. If the deck is still nice and flat, especially on an acoustic guitar, if the deck is flat, that means it's still got the same amount of humidity, or it's got the same amount of moisture in it, because you don't want them to dry out. If they dry out too much, then you'll start to see dips in the body. You start to see dips where it's going like this, and you can have them rehydrated. You can give them to a guitar shop or a luthier, and they'll rehydrate and bring the thing back to life. But this is in great shape. It really is. That's my theory. What do you think? Give us your opinion in the comments. Oh yeah, and by the way, I'm going to link to the Takamine Guitar Factory, which you should go and have a look at because it's just brilliant. It's not a factory like you think, you know, like cars going along. These are all guys, and mostly men, or I didn't see any women in there, building these by hand. These are built by hand, these guitars. They're not, you know, mass produced. They don't make a lot of guitars, Takamine. So I was quite surprised by that. It's worth a look. Go and have a look. So there's this ongoing debate amongst guitarists and musos in general about old guitars are better guitars, or old instruments are better instruments, like, you know, Stradivarius or the Les Paul Gibsons from 1959. And they say that the old guitars are better. And there's a lot of theories going around about this kind of stuff, about the construction methods and the way they were put together. Now, what people maybe don't realise about this deck here, right? This is what's doing all the work. The strings, E, A, D, G, B, E, in standard tuning, all they do is transfer their vibrations via this saddle to this body. And the body is what does all the work. The body of the guitar is what does all the work. It does it increases the vibrations. Listen. Now if you pluck a string, when you pluck a string, this is the soundboard, and the soundboard transfers those vibrations in and out of the hollow body, and then it comes out of the sound hole. But if you're a luthier, or you're someone who knows what they're doing, you know where to look, you can pluck a string. All around the deck are different voicings for the different tones. If you know where to play, if you play and you stroke the deck, you'll feel the vibrations across the deck. And sometimes, if you're lucky, it will sing to you, like there. You probably can't hear it. Practice on your own guitar, but if you just look around the fretboard you'll hear the tone. You can feel them. You can feel the tones on the deck. Pretty amazing. So this thing is engineered, right? They're engineered to be sound machines, and I'm loving this. This is great. That's enough for me, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it, and hopefully you'll see my improvement over the coming weeks and months. I can feel that I'm getting better. But you just got to practice. There are no shortcuts. Simple as that. Bye now.